Board Chair Coleman.
Present.
You have 8 in the affirmative.
We have Board Member Williams also.
Board Member Williams.
Present.
We have 8 in the affirmative.
7.
7 in the affirmative.
Thank you. We do have a quorum. Tonight's posting of the colors is presented by Whitehaven High School. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Tonight's moment of silence is for the 2 students from Booker T. Washington High School, BTW, who tragically lost their lives on Thursday, April 24th, 2025, following an off-campus shooting. We extend our deepest condolences to their families, loved ones, and the entire BTW community.
And we'd also like to include Carl Johnson, Jr.
Thank you. You may be seated. We are now on to the approval of the agenda. Are there any amendments? Interim Superintendent Richmond.
Yes, I think there are, what items, General Counsel, are we still removing those items from earlier?
Thank you, Interim Superintendent. Items 11.7 needs to be removed from the agenda, and item 11.24 needs to be removed from the agenda and added, or from the consent agenda and added to the request for action, please.
Are we leaving 11.25?
Yes.
Thank you.
Board Member McKinney.
No, I just wanted to remove 11.24 from the consent agenda.
So 11.7 and 11.24.
Yes.
No, they said no.
No,
2.4.
2.4.
It's not removed, it's just moved to the discussion agenda.
Is there a motion for the approval of the agenda and second?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Board Member Otay, second by Board Member Murphy. Roll call vote, please.
Board Member McKissick.
Aye.
Board Member Garcia.
Aye.
Board Member Murphy.
Aye.
Board Member Love.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Otay.
Aye.
Board Member Williams.
Aye.
Board Chair Coleman.
Aye.
You have 8 in the affirmative. Board Member Porter.
Present.
Are you voting? We're voting on the agenda.
Yes.
We have 9 in the affirmative.
Thank you. The agenda is approved. We are now on to public comment. In accordance with state statute, the board shall reserve a period for public comment during business and special call meetings. Only those members of the public who submit public comment cards to the board chairman prior to the commencement of this meeting shall be permitted to address the board. Public comments shall be taken in the order in which the public comment cards are received. A sign-up sheet for public comment will become available 30 minutes prior to each applicable meeting and will be closed at the start of the meeting. This sign-up is located at the entryway table just past the security checkpoint. Speakers must state their name, organization he or she is representing, if any, and subject of their comment before they are permitted to proceed. Speakers may offer an objective comment about school operations and programs that concern them. Speakers are asked to refrain from using names of personnel or names of persons connected with the school system, particularly when lodging a complaint. Speakers will not be permitted to engage in gossip, make defamatory comments, or use abusive or vulgar language. The chairman shall have the authority to terminate the remarks of any individual who is disruptive and does not adhere to board rules. Dr. Schultz will announce the number of speakers and time allotted per speaker.
This evening we have 20 speakers, 1.5 minutes each.
Your time is projected on the screen to your right and directly behind the board. When you hear a bell, your time has expired. Our first three speakers: Latasha Griggs, Bishop Charles Lampkin, John Nichols.
Good afternoon. My name is Latasha Griggs. My address is still changed 31 Southern. I want to speak today about accountability. That's what I want to speak about. Dr. Richmond, I understand that you're the captain of this ship. And by you being the captain of this ship, I expect you to run your ship as so. Now, what I have a hard time understanding is, why do we, as the taxpayers, pay for the Carter Malone group to do the public speaking when we have a commissioner that seems to think that every time she just got to say something. She just got to say something. Not realizing she's making the situation worse by saying anything. First of all. Second of all, we wouldn't be at this point where we are dealing with the state versus the board had it not been for 6 of them. So now 6 of those members up there who divided the community, but they never came back to try to fix it. They divided us, but they didn't try to fix us. What they did was they went out and found somebody else to make them comfortable where they at. That's not what it's about. It's not. And on the side note, you come from Detroit. You live in South Memphis. I'm from South Memphis.
Bishop Lampkin, 1637 Britton Street, Memphis 38108. I've been silent for a minute, and I've spoken to several of the leaders up there, one whom I hold in great high regard. He's my brother and he's my friend, and I believe that he's going to make things happen in due season. What I'm concerned with is that, yeah, this community has been divided by ugly, personal, whatever. but you have to deal with God with that. I just want to put you on notice. House Bill 662 is not dead. Senate Bill 714 is not dead. And guess what? It's a whole lot of us that went up to Nashville that don't just look like me. One of my partners standing right next to me, and it's a whole bunch of other people. Please, please, use this time wisely and try and unite the community. Please don't go out and represent us at the Kiwanis Club and all these other places and read from a prepared statement and make us look worse than what we already look. Have a dignified approach to what we're trying to do and what we're trying to represent. There's a lot of you up there that I hold with a lot of respect, one that trained me. And I respect her, and I respect you all. Let's come together and let's bring this team and this community together. This is the opportunity. Don't miss it.
My name is John Nichols, 6367 Shadowwood Lane, Memphis, Tennessee 38119. Good evening, board members. My name is John Nichols. I serve as the interim CEO of Literacy Mid-South. I want to begin by expressing my gratitude to Dr. Richmond, Dr. Whitelaw, Mr. Langston, and their respective teams. Over the past several months, we've had thoughtful and collaborative discussions about the future of the Tutor 901 program in MSCS. Now completing its third year, Tutor 901 has provided high-dosage in-school tutoring to MSCS students, making a measurable impact on student achievement. Many of you have seen this in action, and I thank you for your time in doing that. Tutor 901 works, not only by accelerating learning outcomes, but by reinforcing and supporting the instruction that takes place in every MSCS classroom. It honors the expertise of classroom teachers and administrators, actively engages family and community members, and creates a joyful learning experience for everyone involved. As our city navigates economic uncertainty, Tutor 901 represents a strategic, research-based investment in our most important resource, our children. LMS is prepared to contribute $6 million over the next 4 years, the entirety of our newly awarded EIR grant, to sustain this vital work. However, in order to continue reaching 1,500 students each semester, we are requesting an annual investment of $1.9 million from MSCS, approximately 0.10% of the proposed district budget. While we understand this is a significant ask, it's an investment worth making, and we thank you for your consideration.
Our next three speakers are Nina Addison, Trudy Ralston, and Hannah McTiernan. And I apologize for the last name.
Hello, everyone. Nina Addison, 6215 Haddington Drive, Memphis, Tennessee, 38119. I've had the wonderful opportunity to tutor in our great schools of Memphis. I'm not here to reiterate stats or data of how useful our program is to the district, but I'm here to make an appeal on the importance of a tutoring program to any educational institution. A time-limited instructional classroom approach is not going to do it alone, as technology is becoming more advanced and academic achievement more challenging. Tutoring provides reinforcement of both fundamental and supplemental skills in a calming atmosphere. What's so amazing and different about our program is that our reinforcement takes place during the school days, providing optimal results. I love to hear our students say, "My teacher just told us that, but I didn't quite get it." Here, we, through the art of repetition and cultivation, begin working on the skill desired until it is mastered. We are able to catch students at their initial point of difficulty, rather than after school or once a week. We work with teachers in the same setting and on the same skill. It is my silent wish that every child could be served by our program. Thank you for listening.
Good evening. I'm Trudy Royston at 5316 Conifer View Lane. My zip code is 38002. I am the tutor support manager at Alsea Elementary, as well as the Tutor 901 team lead. And I do work for Literacy Mid-South. I'm excited to talk with you this evening about the importance of the Tutor 901 program. The work that we do for our Shelby County students is intentional. Much time and effort is placed into preparing and annotating lessons, addressing student needs, and communicating with our schools. Our school tutors receive intensive and ongoing training and observations to address strengths and areas to improve. We use evaluation results to tailor our tutor training to enhance their performance. We stress daily with our students that we are there to help them. Once we identify the needs, we may share information with administration and teachers as needed. Our tutor support manager team continuously works to identify areas of improvement, as well as research and share strategies to get us there. We want to make a difference with the students that we tutor. Our students know that we are about the business when working with them, and we have high expectations for their growth. We stress bell-to-bell instruction and good time management and pacing to maximize instructional time with our students. As a part of our community engagement efforts, we have attended additional activities to dispense books to our students and families to use while at home, such as recently the MSCS Lock-In and Level Up TCAP Prep event. We hope that you will join us and support our program by prioritizing Tutor 901 in the budget. Thank you.
My name is Hannah McTiernan, 4049 Graham Oaks Court, 38122. I work as a tutor support manager for Literacy Mid-South's Tutor 901 program. And prior to my time with Tutor 901, I spent 7 years as an educator in Memphis-Shelby County Schools. Anyone who has ever taught will tell you that when it comes to supporting students, it truly takes a village. And Tutor 901 provides that. A village of tutors who can provide small group instruction that one teacher alone physically cannot. Our tutoring groups are ratioed 1 tutor to 3 students for 45 minutes at a time. Something even the most seasoned and skilled teachers physically cannot do. What makes our program extra special is our village of tutors, many of whom are here this evening. We currently employ a diverse core of nearly 200 folks, ranging from those who are retired educators to those as young as 18 years old who are trying to figure out next steps. We've had many folks who decide to go on to become educators after participating as tutors in the Tutor 901 program. But what makes these people so special is their hardworking attitudes and hunger to learn. Tutor 901 tutors are held to really high standards. They are trained on the science of reading, they receive ongoing coaching, and attend monthly literacy training by former educators like myself. As many of you know, we cannot do this alone. We need your support. I'm asking you to please prioritize Tutor 901 in the budget and help us to continue to be the village that our students deserve.
Thank you. Sandra Ford, Carrie Cottrell, Olivia Mack.
Good evening. My name is Sandra Bryant Ford, and I am a tutor at 901. I'm a room tutor at 901 tutor, excuse me. I am a tutor 901 room monitor and tutor. My address is 3555 Acacia Drive. I'm here to speak about why Tutor 901 works. I am a former educator. I'm retired now, and I can tell you exactly why it works. It works because, as you've already heard, of small group support. We have just 3 students at a table 45-minute sessions, and 3 times a week we work with these students. As a matter of fact, you've already heard it. Our mantra is we tutor bell to bell. During the school day, tutors follow pre-prepared foundational skills and annotated I-ready lessons that are tied to grade level skills and expectations. Tutors are provided ongoing training throughout the year. Tutors also take part in what we refer to as tutor learning communities, not PLCs, professional learning communities, but tutor learning communities. How does that work? Well, in between classes, we discuss and model strategies on how to roll out new lessons. That's a part of our ongoing professional development. Above all, we take the work with our students seriously, and tutors are caring and consistent. That matters. In addition, Literacy Mid-South gives away books quarterly. We give monthly attendance participation certificates. I thank you. I encourage you, please continue to support Tutor 901. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Carrie Cutrell, and my address is 756 North Evergreen, 38107.
Ms. Cottrell, can you lift the mic up a little bit?
Is that better?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. I'm a tutor at Literacy Mid-South in the Tutor 901 program. Tutor 901 is built on a research-backed model designed to reach the students who need us most. We work in schools in small groups 3 times a week, providing focused personal support tied directly to what students are learning in class. But it's not just about reading levels and scores. It's about connection. It's about believing in students who sometimes don't even believe in themselves yet. My first year tutoring, I worked at an elementary school where there was a lot of anger. One of my students was known for throwing chairs when she got upset. But during our tutoring time, she usually found a little peace. One day, she came to me in a terrible mood. I knelt down to ask her what was wrong, and she rubbed her arms and told me that she didn't want to have dark skin anymore, that her mother told her that she couldn't be her child because her skin was too dark. She cried, and I almost cried too. That moment broke something open in me. From then on, every time I saw her, I made a point to tell her that she mattered, that I was happy to see her, and that she is important. Within a week, her teacher told me that she had stopped throwing chairs and wasn't getting physical with kids anymore. I like to think that I had an impact on her, but honestly, she had just much of an impact on me. She's one of the reasons I went back to school to get my master's in teaching, because I want to be part of the solution. Tutor 901 is part of the solution. It's not just literacy, it's healing, it's hope, and it's a bridge to a better future. But now, with state funding ending, we need MSCS to invest $2 million annually to keep this work alive. Thank you for listening to me.
Olivia Mack, 2000 North Parkway, 38112. I'm here representing Literacy Mid-South. I'm a third-year student at Rhodes College, double majoring in English and history. And for the past 2 years, I've had the privilege of serving as a tutor with Literacy Mid-South, an experience that's been both foundational and formative in my journey as an educator. Working with these third graders, I help support their literacy development during a critical time in their academic growth. This work allows me to bridge theory and practice, bringing to life the concepts I learn in the classroom through real-life, hands-on experience. Tutor 901 works because it meets students where they're at and gives them what they need. Small group instruction, held during the school day and aligned with classroom content, and delivered by trained, compassionate, and consistent tutors. Literacy Mid-South doesn't just support students, it supports tutors like me. The training we receive aligns closely with my coursework at Rhodes, reinforcing key concepts from multiple perspectives. And even more valuable are the people. Many of my fellow tutors are retired MSCS educators, administrators, and literacy specialists. Their guidance and insights have been some of my greatest learning tools, helping me grow not just as a tutor, but a future teacher. To keep this vital program running, MSCS must commit $2 million annually. It's a modest investment for a program that is delivering real, measurable results. I see this difference in this program every day. At the beginning of the year, my students are often discouraged and unsure of themselves and are frustrated with simple writing tasks. But within weeks, they are ready to engage, eager to write, ready to revise, and proud of their progress. Thank you.
Our next three speakers. First name Kanita, last name Farmer, Justina Wright, Paulina Avalos.
Hi, it's Cynthia, like Cynthia with a K. I'm
I
Cynthia.
apologize.
No, you're fine. I'm Cynthia Farmer, tutor with Literacy Mid-South at Robert R. Church, and my address is 3100 Stone Street, Memphis, Tennessee. So, you guys heard great things about Tutor 901, and we all know when it comes to sports, if you look at sports, that there are intangibles that make things valuable. So if you ever watch sports, do you know that one person that's like that locker room leader, that is that energy driver, that hustler, that grit and grinder? So not only do we provide the data that you've heard and that you'll continue to hear, we provide those intangibles in those schools. We are, a lot of these kids, locker room leaders. We provide that confidence for a lot of these kids. We are that 101, that direct connection that some of these kids are longing to look for, to the point that kids that aren't even in our classrooms, they'll come up to us, they'll hug us, they'll be able to get this experience of their extra hands around. On top of the net positive Tutor 901 provides, we provide these aspects. We provide the additional energy for our students. We provide the deeper connection with trauma-informed care. We provide additional outlets for the buildings for our students and other students who see us weekly. We build confidence. There are students who just took the TCAP, but because they're familiar with us, when they're breaking down, they look to us and we're able to kind of be that rich auntie in the school that's giving them that pep talk, those extra hands that are able to kind of get them across that line of success. So we are the invaluable to a lot of these kids. We are their MVP.
Good evening. My name is Justina Knight. I am a 901 tutor. Home address 3589 Covington Pike, Unit 207, Memphis 38128. I'm reading this statement on behalf of one of our tutor room monitors who is unable to be here today. Her name is Shara Cantrell. And she states, since joining as a tutor in 2023, I have witnessed significant progress in reading fluency among the students. I've worked with at two distinctly different school sites. While academics is the primary focus, I have seen firsthand how building connections with students is crucial. This connection fosters acceptance of support, leading to increased confidence as they navigate through the program. Tutor 901 is truly effective. The small group support we provide during the day, 3 times a week, 45 minutes per session, offers a reinforcement that students desperately need. Unfortunately, we have recently learned that funding for the Tutor 901 program is coming to an end. To sustain this invaluable program, MCS would need to invest $2 million a year. This investment is vital as we have proven results that positively impact students across the district. I kindly ask you to prioritize the Tutor 901 program in the budget for the upcoming school year. We have made notable achievements and cannot afford to take steps backwards at this crucial time. Thank you for considering this important request. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Paulina Avalos, and my address is 4047 Allison Avenue, 38122. I am a former student and a former educator of SES, as well as a parent of a SES student. I am here because I wanted to discuss the possible ways we could help a vital part of our student population, undocumented students. First of all, I'd like to say that we need to invest in anti-racist curriculum for the school board members. It is embarrassing that we have school board members threatening to deport former students. This is not how a school board member should feel about undocumented students, or any students actually. Our schools are supposed to be warm and welcoming environments for all students, and our board members need to exemplify this as well. With that being said, I know that we have all heard about the laws that Tennessee has been trying to pass, blocking undocumented students from having a free education. We as a community are asking you all to pass regulations supporting our undocumented students. You must show that this is actually a space for all students by taking action and by actually paying attention when I'm speaking. That would be marvelous. Not by standing by while our undocumented students suffer, not by calling to deport former students. Thank you.
Elliot Lee, Charlie Nelson, last name Mejia.
Good evening, my name is Elliot Lee. My address is 4047 Allison Avenue. I want to thank the board members that paid attention to my wife while she was sharing that important message. It is critical right now that we pay attention to those who need to be listened to. As an educator for nearly 10 years, I've been blessed to work closely with our Hispanic population, both as an ESL teacher and an English teacher, Some of these students were recent arrivals. Others were in MSCS their whole lives. They knew what it was. But no matter their background, I knew it was my job to make these students feel safe, feel welcome, and feel as if they had a chance to learn and grow and prosper. That is our job as educators and also our job as adults. We chose this career to better future generations. So what happened that made some of us go back on that good? What happened that made some of us decide the size of our wallets were more important than the fostering of our youth's education? Should we not make the education of every child in Shelby County, regardless of their status, our #1 priority? I ask these questions because we are on borrowed time. Given the current state of both the country and of Memphis itself, there is no moment for caution or hesitance or whatever banal excuse we can bring up in order to ignore this problem. We have a duty, a sworn one, to educate our students. We have a duty to nurture our students, but most importantly, we have a duty to protect our students, not to threaten them. Thank you for your time.
How y'all doing today? My name is Charlie Nielsen, 1212 Stable One Drive, Cordova, Tennessee. Nice to see y'all again. But I'm here to talk about, you know what I'm about, my fight about equality. Still ain't hearing nothing back. I've been applying for plenty jobs, no interview, no feedback. Tito, you did call me, I appreciate that. But it's just not, good enough. I need to know what's going on. It's none of my background. I've been going there for 2 years. That's why I filed a federal lawsuit, but it's been dismissed. Can't keep making excuses. HR, LaShonda Brooke, I talked to you. You real sweet. My fight is not about no contract. I want to know why, who blackballed me, stopped me from getting a job. What I hustle in the street, you know what I'm saying, like hustle flow, they ain't got nothing to do with me. I ain't never been convicted. I've never been caught with a crime. I'm a clean record. You can't hold my street capability, what I do, what kind of car I drive, how I dress. So what I'm saying is, Mr. Rob Rich in the state trying to take over, so y'all need to get it right, because I'm finna start hollering defund. I'm gonna call Ma White, I'm gonna call Brent Taylor defund, because y'all ain't gonna help people get jobs. Any defund. I'm finna call Donald Trump defund. So I'm giving you a chance. I came down here last time and told you I don't play games. I told Fagan when she wrong, I don't play games. You know I don't play. So if y'all ain't gonna do right, let the feds come on in, TBI, investigate everybody. I ain't finna play no game, cause I'm tired of my name being slandered. I call every 9 you board members up here to help me. Y'all keep saying y'all don't wanna help, but I'm gonna put 9 more new board members. Y'all wanna help? What I got you in my district if you ain't gonna help me? Get somebody up here gonna do their job. I'm through talking. You need to do what y'all supposed to do. My record clean. I want to be exonerated. Have a good day. God bless you.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Vernon. I live at 2016 Kings Cross Lane in Cordova, 38016. As many of you are aware, our special needs population is growing with no signs of stopping. Our rooms are filled to capacity, at times over capacity, with kids who require individual attention, intense monitoring, and differentiated instruction. I've been both a teacher assistant and a teacher for the past 5 years in a pre-K bedroom. I've seen what works best for our students, and that is consistency. Consistent teachers, consistent rules, consistent expectations, and consistent smiling, friendly faces. Teacher assistants in the special education room are a very important part of that consistency, and without our TAs, special education rooms would be chaotic, unmanageable, resemble more of a daycare than a classroom. I could talk about everything they do, but a TA wears all kinds of hats. They do everything and have the expectations of a teacher most of the times as well. Some of our days are dangerous, some days are long, every day is incredibly busy. TAs have the expectation of a teacher, but the compensation of a retail worker. They are paid a maximum of 35 hours a week, but expected to arrive early and occasionally stay late. They're only paid for half of the school holidays, and since they're a 10-month employee, they receive no compensation during the summer. It has become increasingly rare to find good special education assistants, and it's hard to find people who have the right heart. Almost every year during the summer, I have to worry about having to find a new person to fill a TA's role and hope that they didn't find a summer job that will pay them more money with less expectations. Teachers are underpaid, but TAs are grossly underpaid, and they do not make a livable wage. A step in the right direction would be to make them a 12-month employee. Thank you guys very much.
Our last two speakers are Sharon Montgomery and Robbie Williams.
Hello, my name is Rene Jose. I'm going to be helping on behalf of the Office of Multilingual Learners to translate into English.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Karen Mejía y vivo en 3969 South Kingsbury. Soy mamá de 3 niños y 2 de ellos son estudiantes del Distrito Escolar de Memphis.
Hello, my name is Karen Mejia, and I live in 3969 South Kingsbury. I'm a mother of 3 children, 2 of them by which are students of the District of Memphis-Shelby.
Mi hija mayor podría ser afectada por la propuesta de ley que indica que se puede negar la educación pública a estudiantes inmigrantes. Esta ley HB 793 ahorita está en pausa, pero va a regresar el próximo año. Por eso es que yo, otras mamás y miembros de la comunidad estamos aquí para pedir que la Junta Escolar apruebe una declaración en contra de esta ley.
My oldest daughter can be affected by the proposed law that indicates that students that are immigrants will be denied public education. The law HB 793 right now is on pause, but can potentially return next year. That is why I am here with other mothers and members of the community asking for the Board of Education today to approve a statement in against the law HB 793.
Esperamos contar con su apoyo para la comunidad inmigrante y todos los estudiantes. Gracias.
I hope to count with your support for all of the students of the immigrant community as well as all students as a whole. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sharon Montgomery. I'm with Micah. I live at 1048 Crosswood Lane, Cordova, Tennessee 38018. We Micah, we are requesting a resolution to protect our students regardless of their immigration status. As a retired teacher, I can't imagine putting children through such a traumatic experience. We say that students are lifelong learners. So what is this teaching our students? This will not only affect our students with immigrant status, but it can also affect a child who wonders what happened to their friend or neighbor who was subjected to arrest by ICE. Our schools must protect the innocent that are caught up in a political situation. Again, we request a resolution protecting education for all.
Thank you to our speakers. Board Member Otay.
I just wanted to, thank you, Board Chair. I just wanted to thank all of you guys that came out and spoke today. I just want to say from the very first person to the last, we hear you. And I thank you for the work that you're doing in the community. I see a lot of you boots on the ground, and I appreciate that. We all appreciate that, but I just wanted to make sure you know that we hear you, and we're thankful for you coming out to speak today.
Thank you. We are now on to the approval of the minutes from the following meetings.
I beg your pardon? Am I not supposed? Should I proceed?
Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Greetings and thank you. I'm Roby Williams. I reside at 160 Island Place, ISLAND Place, PLACE, Memphis, Tennessee. I'm a registered voter and taxpayer, and I stand today as a representative of the Castelia Magnolia Community Development Corporation. And I have one mission.
Mr. Williams, can you pick the mic up just a little bit so we can hear you clearly? Thank you.
Should I begin? Should I begin with my name and address? Okay, thank you. I'm here for one mission, one purpose, to have the board convey the Magnolia school property to the Castelia Magnolia CDC. We want to use that property as a community anchor. We are a CDC who've been involved with the community for some time now, and we've had a number of activities over there. We come to you not asking for something where we haven't made any investment in the community. We had a number of cleanups in the community where over 100 people participated. What we're trying to do is make this former Magnolia School an anchor in the community where we'll have programs for senior services and for youth. When we did have our cleanup, we had persons from baby boomers to 15-year-olds, all strata of the age groups are represented in this effort. Did someone say thank you? You're very welcome. And I'm just here to carefully convey, strongly recommend, and repeatedly suggest that we do this. Convey that property to the Castelia Magnolia CDC. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I do apologize. Thank you. Now we're on to the approval of the minutes from the March 18th work session and the March 25th business meeting. Are there any corrections? There being no corrections, do we have a motion to approve these minutes in a second?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Hewitt Garcia, second by Board Member Porter. Roll call vote, please.
Board Member McKissick.
Aye.
Board Member Garcia.
Aye.
Board Member Porter.
Aye.
Board Member Murphy. Board Member Love.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Otay.
Aye.
Board Member Williams.
Aye.
Board Chair Coleman.
Aye.
You have 8 in the affirmative.
Thank you. That motion passes. We are now on to committee reports. We're now on to the board chair's report. Please join me in wishing a very, very special young lady a very happy birthday. She celebrated her birthday this past Friday, this past Saturday, this past Sunday. She celebrated. Now we'll turn to the screen, please.
Board member Stephanie Love, wishing you all the best this year and all the many years to come.
Board member Love, happy birthday.
continue to show all your love and all your support, and I really truly appreciate everything you do for our students. Again, happy birthday, and may all your pain be champagne.
Hello, I would like to send a very, very special happy birthday to my friend and my colleague, Stephanie Love, Commissioner Stephanie Love, and I want you to know that I love you, I appreciate you, and thank you for everything that you do. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Stephanie. Happy birthday to you. Love you, Ladybug. Have a great birthday.
Hi, Vice Chair Love. Happy birthday. I hope you are celebrated and you take some time to rest and have a little fun too.
Happy birthday, Stephanie Love. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for all of your dedication and commitment to Memphis-Shelby County Schools, the students, parents, and the community. Have a wonderful day.
Hey, Stephanie. I heard you're turning 35 again. I hope your day is as wonderful as you are. Happy birthday.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's my friend's birthday. Happy birthday, Stephanie. 35 and holding looks mighty good on you. Enjoy your special month. Love you, girl.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Stephanie. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Thank you all so very much. I'm still celebrating.
Now we're on to our recognitions. We're going to start with Board Member McKissick from District 1. We ask that the Idlewild Elementary chess team come in at this time. Board members, you all can go down to the front if you want to stand as we recognize them. And Interim Superintendent, please go down.
Super exciting as they make their way. I just want to say congratulations to Idlewild Elementary. Not only, it's just outstanding. The pre-K, or not the pre-K, the primary and the elementary groups both won the state championship in 2 divisions for chess. Congratulations.
Board members, go down.
You see those big trophies.
We have. I'm gonna read them now. I'm gonna read all of them. Yeah, I got all of them. Just give it to me. Yeah. Board Member McKissick is going to announce these students' names.
I'm going to have Chair hand out the certificates for me as I call the names. I did a whole tutorial on how to pronounce the names of these outstanding students. So where's your sheet? Can I see your sheet? Okay, so we have 12 students. And in recognition of the Idlewild Elementary chess team's participation in the 2025 Harry Sabin Tennessee State Scholastic Team Chess Tournament for primary, that means K through 3, and elementary K through 5 levels, we celebrate historic achievement, competing against some of the finest schools in the entire state of Tennessee. They secured this victory. So just congratulations to Principal Kirsten Schnacky, Vice Principal Dr. William Schuman, Program Sponsor Mrs. Rebecca Taylor, and where's Coach? Coach, where are you? There you are. So I don't have your name right here, but I know that I've got it. Coach Mark has been holding it down, and they brought home the big win. Y'all, this is super huge. These little kids are blowing it out the water with chess. So I'm going to call as best I can. Please apologize for any pronunciations. Pardon? Would you please come up here and do it? And so I put them in alphabetical order.
Great.
So.
Great, all right. Okay, on the primary team, Calvin Tyler, Julian Tyler, Sota Yoshida, Gen Siglin, Levi Fitzpatrick, and kindergartner Sachi Yoshida. On the elementary team, Yassine Janudine, Rawson Gannis, Kay Siglin, Kylis Crenshaw, Oscar Braskich, and James Gannis. And we will be traveling to nationals next week, taking on the top teams in the country.
Congratulations. And we would also like to offer. We would also like to recognize from Idlewild, Key Shinglin, Kay won 3rd place in this year's Tennessee Civics Essay Contest by the Tennessee Secretary of the State. Kay received a $100 Tennessee Star Scholarship and a trip to the state capitol. During the award ceremony, students are assigned to serve as pages for either a state senator or representative during the House session. Kay will serve as a senator page with leader Ramesh Agbar. Congratulations. Next, we will recognize Board Member McKinney, District 2. Thank you all. We're so proud of you. District 2, Board Member McKinney, Santeria Ryan. Okay, I'm sorry. We're going to recognize Santeria Ryan, hopefully at our next board meeting. Kenneth Parsons Jr. from Douglas High School, the Douglas High School. Let's give it up for Kenneth Parsons Jr. as he comes forth in recognition of outstanding academic performances. Mom, come on. Come on, Mom. In recognition of outstanding academic performances throughout his time at Douglas High Optional School, his dedication to his studies is matched by his commitment to leadership and service. Kenneth holds several leadership roles, including serving as a member of the Student Council, band president, and battalion commander of the Red Devil Battalion. Let's give it up for Kenneth Parsons Jr. We have the assistant principal, Ms. Audrey Jones, with us on this evening. Congratulations, Mr. Parson. Next, from Board Member McKinney, we have Olivia Mitchell from Kingsbury High School. In recognition of Olivia's exceptional dedication and accomplishment, especially during project graduation and summer school, she exhibited an impressive level of effort and commitment to her academic aspirations. Her relentless hard work and determination have facilitated her early graduation, and we take great pride in celebrating her achievement.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to say that I recognized 4 students, really. The other one is going to be recognized tomorrow at the college signing. But I wanted to say for Kenneth Parsons, I want you to stand up again, Kenneth. Kenneth, he shared his personal statement with me. He has persevered through many trials with his family, and he has done that, and still he rises. He is going to University of Memphis. And Kenneth is very clear about his direction. He will be our state senator one day. Okay? Olivia, and I want to say thank you to Kenneth's parents. Mother, thank you. Thank you. Olivia, is she still here? Okay. Olivia, you're just amazing. You're amazing. You need to know that. You need to hear that. You graduated early. You persevered. And Olivia is going to Southern University. That brings a special place in my heart because I'm an HBCU grad. So go Southern, all right? All right. So I just I wanted to do this because we honored all of the valedictorians and salutatorians just this past week. But we need to know, all of you need to know, that we have more than just valedictorians and salutatorians who are doing the work and are going places. Santeria couldn't make it today. Santeria is going to Rhodes College. She will be going to Rhodes College. She is a graduate of Craigmont High School. I also have Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams got the Gates Scholarship. And that's a full ride. Full ride. She's going to University of Memphis. She got the Yale Book Award last year. So and these are the students that we're graduating from our high school. So I want everyone to give all of these students a big round of applause. I appreciate it.
We're going to keep moving. Board Vice Chair Love, District 3. In honor of Autism Awareness, she has Kaylin Crump from Raleigh Egypt High School. Kaylin. Here he comes. Come on, Kaylin. Yeah. Come on, parents. In recognition of his outstanding progress and dedication to autism, Kalen is demonstrating remarkable growth and progress, communication, social skills, academic performance. His hard work and dedication and his positive impact on Raleigh Egypt High School, the Raleigh Egypt High School in the classroom. We celebrate him tonight. Thank you.
Okay, so Kalen was not supposed to live. He spent the first year of his life in the hospital, and when he came out of surgery, they basically told me that he was gonna die, and here we are 18 years later, so.
Our next young person is Carson Combe from Cape Bun Pre-K. Recognition from Vice Chair Love. Caleb is in recognition of his outstanding progress and dedication. Carson is demonstrating remarkable growth and progress. Carson's hard work, dedication, and positive impact at Cape Bun Pre-K in the classroom. This recognition is a testament of the hard work and positive impact he has on those around him. Thank you. Thank you for sharing Carson with us.
I'd like to thank Kia Shine, who's partnering with us to promote autism awareness.
Thank you. We got one. Our next would be board member from Board Member 4, District 4, Board Member Porter, and he's recognizing tonight the Men of Valor from New Sardis Baptist Church. In recognition of the Men of Valor for their unwavering dedication and commitment to the mentorship program at Highland Oaks Elementary. Your positive presence has made a meaningful impact on the lives of our students. From greeting students each morning to assisting during TCAP testing. Your service exemplifies true leadership, compassion, and community spirit. We have with us this evening Mr. Johnny Brand, Mr. Floyd Moore, Mr. Stanley Walker, Mr. Clyde Pinkston, Mr. Rick Downey, the coach, Mr. Leroy McLean, Mr. Dan Gray, I apologize, Reverend Brian Robertson, and Reverend Dr. Darrell Harrington. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. New Sardis Men of Valor are under the leadership of Dr. Dale Harrington, and we are so glad to be here this afternoon. We are absolutely trying to do an outstanding job in the community, and on a scale of 1 to 10, we're probably at a 9.5 right now, because we are mentoring, as they said, at Highland Oaks Elementary, and I know for sure it's a task, but we definitely enjoy building relationships with our students. So that is so important, and we want to present Commissioner Marcus to Marcus Porter with the gift, Men of Valor shirt and a coffee cup. So to Marcus, thank you so much for supporting us and everything that we do. And his name is actually on the roster for the Men of Valor. So he's along with us. If one is doing something, we all are doing something in the community. So thank you so much. Thank you, young man. I remember when. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yes. Good. It's been a long time. Been a long time. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you for the good work. Thank you. Don't everybody screw you for what you believe in. Yes, sir. Thank you. Nice to see you, man.
District 5, Board Member Otay. The first one is for Oak Grove Baptist Church. The host pastor is Pastor Donald Johnson. Is anyone here from Oak Grove? Hope in Him Morning Chapel Baptist Church. Well, we thank both of these churches for supporting our students and our buildings, our teachers. The third one is for Memphis and May Tequila Rucker. Memphis for All, I'm sorry. Ms. Tequila Rucker, in recognition of Memphis for All for their unwavering dedication to advocating for positive changes in our community. With a powerful blend of political fire and soulful tenderness, she has led with purpose, mobilizing voters, building movements, nurturing wounded hearts, and championing the rights and well-being of our children. Tequila has made invaluable efforts to strengthen our community and inspiring hope and actions across generations. We thank you. Congratulations, Ms. Rucker. Now for District 9, we have John Griffin Jr. John was recognized as Youth of the Year by the Melrose Boys and Girls Club, from the Melrose High School. John Griffin Jr., in recognition of your outstanding achievement and dedication, embodying the qualities of a true leader and role model, and proudly designated as Melrose Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year Award. John's leadership, perseverance, and commitment to making a difference has truly set him apart. He's from the Melrose High School, Mr. Langston. And the principal of the Melrose High School is Mr. Christopher Davis. Next, we have Miss Unique Monroe. Is Unique here? Let me tell you all about Unique. Unique, Superintendent, she is recognized for designing the Memphis in May t-shirt for 2025. The t-shirts that will be sold for the Memphis in May Festival was designed by Miss Unique Monroe. Congratulations, Unique. Unique is a 7th grader, a middle school at Havenview Middle School. Next, we will recognize Nakia, Kia Shine, and Alicia Coleman in recognition of autism advocacy for their outstanding advocacy efforts and unwavering commitment to supporting the autism community and improving the lives of individuals. I had a chance to go to a couple of schools with him, and the love that he shows for our special young people is just hands down. We appreciate you. He was just giving out toys to the kids, just making them feel like they are somebody, and he was showing them how important and how special. We thank you.
I want to thank each and every one of you up here, the teachers, the educators, caregivers, the parents. You know, my autism community appreciates what you guys do every day for our community, and especially my son who's nonverbal and with profound autism. I really appreciate the teachers because the teacher made the difference in his life. So that's why we do purpose work. I want to say that the special needs community is just different, it's not less. And they blessed by the best. And I thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Now I'm going to turn it around. Board members, you can go back up there for a minute. We're in for a treat. I have 4 young people. Board member Tawana Murphy called me late one night and said, Madam Chair, you got to see these kids. And I'm like, Miss Murphy, it's late. I don't even want to see my own kids this late. But when I sat up and watched them, I was in absolute awe of what you are about to see. I want you to meet Dalian Maurice Brown. Is that you? Turn around so they can see you. Denaya Marie Brown. Is that you? They attend Soulsville Charter School. Deanna Mackenzie Brown. Deanna, and Davian Malik Brown. They attend Holmes Road.
These are the Brown Four, and they were featured last week on American Idol as guest artists. So give it up for Memphis' own, the Brown Four. Because he
Oh my God. Man, look. Wow. I saw you. Excellent. Oh my God. Beautiful. Excellent. Excellent.
Give Joyce a minute, y'all. She crying. Give her a minute.
Excellent. Wow.
Y'all, these my babies here. These my babies. And they represent Memphis well with over 14 million views. Miss Olivia, what she got? Okay, come on, Miss Olivia. This is their mom. Give their mom a
We're going to keep moving as they're giving out their certificates. This is also from Board Member Murphy. Hamilton High School valedictorian Denia Welton. Is Denia here? Class of 2025 salutatorian Danisha Britton. Hamilton High, Class of 2025 Jeremy Livingston. I have two more quickly. We would like to do a special honor. I have two young ladies that I get great pleasure out of going on the second floor. The first young lady I want to introduce you to is somebody that's been with the district for 25 years. She's worked directly with our interim superintendent for 20 years. Come on, Miss Tammy Edwards.
Give Miss Tammy a standing ovation. She's been putting up with me for 20 years.
She's a graduate of Southwest Community College and the University of Memphis. A few of her responsibilities, because you heard Dr. Richmond, those that didn't hear you said she's been putting up with him for over 20 years. And she does it, I don't care when you go in that office, she has a smile on her face. Some very, very limited of her responsibilities. This is what she does, some of it, okay? She schedules meetings. She enters contracts. She does board docs. And she minty, including putting up with interim superintendent Richmond for over 25 years. We honor you on tonight.
Hold on one second. And I also would like to honor all of our administrative assistants from last week. Happy Administrative Assistants Day, which was last Wednesday. Again, I want to thank Tammy. I love her and I appreciate her. I couldn't do this job without her. I couldn't have made it to the point that I am without her. And so, Tammy, today we honor you. I appreciate you.
And she has someone that works with her, Miss June Nichols. She's been with the district for 25 years. She started out as a classroom teacher. She's a graduate. Come on, Miss Nichols.
Yes, sir. Come on, Miss June. We love Miss June, too. We couldn't make it without Miss June.
She's a graduate of the University of Memphis. Here we go, sister. Some of her duties include preparing appeals for the superintendent submitted by parents, compiling appeals for the discipline hearing authority for the network hearing officials, and scheduling hearings. She also advises, on top of doing all that, she also advises and trains school administrators on entering discipline data in Power School. We salute both of you beautiful young ladies. Thank you. Are any of our students from Invictus here tonight? Anybody from Invictus? Okay. We're not going to apologize for the length that it takes, but as our interim superintendent says so often, greatness grows here. And in order for it to grow, it has to be watered sometimes. So we're watering some of the greatness that grows in our district, letting them know we appreciate their efforts, appreciate them helping, support. This is just the beginning. We'll have more next month. Thank you. We're now on to the academic performance committee report.
no reports. Everything will be forwarded to committee next week or the following meeting.
We're now on to Budget, Audit, and Finance Committee report.
Thank you. The board held a board budget retreat, a long meeting on March 26th, right after our last business meeting. We held a community budget meeting on April 16th, so thank you to everyone who came out. I did want to share that there was an opportunity for community feedback through surveys. We had 643 community members respond to that, and at least one family from 143 of our schools. So that is outstanding to hear what you want to see prioritized in the budget. We did come up with, the board shared a lot of questions during the retreat and asked for some additional data. Board members, it looks like everybody has picked up their draft budget book, but they're in the front of the binder. We will, in May, use our Budget, Audit, and Finance Committee meeting to have a further budget discussion. I know there are still some outstanding questions, and I want us to all have an opportunity to follow up on the data that we did receive from the budget retreat. One update I wanted to share is that in our previous timeline, we had April 30th as a presentation for our initial draft to the County Commission. That is now going to be May 14th, and then the final towards the end of that month. So any questions that you have on that draft budget, please bring those to our committee meetings in May. And that is it for Budget, Audit, and Finance.
Thank you, Board Member Hurd Garcia. 8.4, Charter School Committee report. No report. Community Outreach and Engagement Committee report.
No report.
Evaluation Committee, no report. We are now on to Policy, Governance, and Legislation Committee report.
Thank you, Chair Coleman. We had the meeting earlier this month, and we came up with a list of policies that we are going to prioritize and calendar to create a policy calendar for the year where we will review and determine if we need revisions to policies and or develop new policies. We also wanted to give an update on the board governance training RFQ. That was scheduled to be posted on yesterday. It was posted on yesterday, and that date, it closes on May 19th. Again, this is an RFQ, which is different from an RFP. RFQ is just asking for qualifications, asking who its consultants, and we're asking them to let us know whether they can meet the requirements that we have put in our scope of work for our board governance training.
8.8, Procurement Committee report.
All items are on the agenda. No report.
We're now on to General Counsel's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. No report this month.
We're now on to Superintendent's report.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, Board Chair Coleman, Vice Chair Love, and all members of the board and the listening audience. I want to begin by sincerely thanking you for your trust and confidence in my leadership. When I stepped into the role in January, it was during a period of significant transition for our district, a moment that called for stability, clarity, and immediate action. I understood then, as I do now, that leadership is not simply about maintaining course during easy times. True leadership is forged during moments of challenge, when the stakes are high and the future demands both courage and vision. I accepted this responsibility with full awareness of what the moment required, a firm commitment to students, families, and educators of Memphis-Shelby County Schools. Today, I formally present my 100-day plan, a strategic framework that both reflects the work already underway and charts the path forward with intentional focus. This plan is rooted in disciplined inquiry, data-driven decision-making, and an uncompromising commitment to excellence. It is designed not simply to respond to challenges, but to build a foundation for lasting systemic improvement. You will see that we're prioritizing the critical areas that define our mission, addressing disparities in literacy, numeracy, and college and career readiness, strengthening community trust and engagement, and creating strong, transparent systems of accountability at every level. Some initiatives have already been launched, others are in active development. But across every area of this plan, one theme remains constant: urgency, with a clear focus on student outcomes. I stand before you not only to outline next steps, but to reaffirm my commitment to lead this district with integrity, purpose, and a relentless belief in the potential of every child. Thank you again for entrusting me with this important work. Together, we will move Memphis-Shelby County Schools forward. Next slide. My 100-day plan will start with guided questions. We're going to start with governance and board relations. Key considerations will be transparency, alignment, and collaboration between the superintendent and you all as board members. Some of those key questions, guided questions, are: what structures and processes are in place to ensure strong governance? How effective is my engagement with you all, and how is it aligned with district priorities? What are the main concerns and expectations of you all regarding district leadership? What strategies are being used to enhance communication and trust between us? How do you all perceive the effectiveness of retreats and one-on-ones as we have those? What policies, governance, and accountability measures need to be updated or reinforced? And lastly, how will board priorities be integrated into long-term strategic planning? As far as student achievement, key considerations will be transparency, alignment, and collaboration between the superintendent and you all. What key academic gaps and strengths have been identified? How is the district addressing disparities? What strategies are being implemented to improve instructional quality? How effective do current curriculum alignment with workforce demands and higher education expectations? What roles do stakeholder focus groups play in shaping academic improvement? How is student performance being measured and monitored over the 100-day period? And what interventions are in place to support multilingual learners, students with disabilities, and at-risk populations? Next, staff relations. Key considerations would be recruitment, retention, professional growth, and collaboration. Some of the questions are: what are the key concerns and needs of teachers and staff? How effectively is the district filling critical vacancies and reducing time to hire? How professional development is aligned with student achievement? How is the academic organizational chart being realigned to better address achievement goals? Operations and finance. Key considerations would be budget efficiency, resource allocation, and financial sustainability. How are financial resources being allocated to maximize student success? What are the district's short-term and long-term financial priorities? What opportunities exist for cost savings, cost avoidance, and revenue generation? What improvements have been made in procurement, payroll, and grant management processes? And what steps have been taken to optimize school closures, capital planning, and facilities management, just to name a few? Next slide. Next, community relations. Key considerations will be: how effectively is the district engaging parents, community members, and local leaders? How are stakeholder concerns and feedback being incorporated into our decision-making? How are community engagement events contributing to stronger relationships and district goals? And how does the district ensure equity and inclusion in all community engagement efforts? And lastly, evaluation and accountability. Key considerations will be measuring impact, ensuring accountability, and defining next steps. How is progress being tracked for each strategic priority? What key performance indicators have been identified? How often are updates shared with you all? And what adjustments have been made based on early findings from the 100-day assessment, just to name a few? Next slide. The 100-day plan overview, evaluation, and performance measures. The plan outlines actionable steps to address 5 strategic priorities. They are governance and board relations, student achievement, staff relations and capacity, operations and finance, and community relations. Next slide. Actions and performance measures, governance and board relations, action steps. To establish a transition team to oversee the initial priorities, what I'm doing is working closely with our senior leadership team. We'll also bring in content experts to assist as needed.
I'd like to start scheduling campus visits with you all over the next 2 weeks to build relationships and to gather more insight. We've already hosted one retreat, which was February 28th and March 1st. We'll have our second to share findings and recommendations from the 100-day assessment. Also, I want to continue to schedule regular meetings with you all to discuss agendas and district matters, schedule our one-on-ones and check-ins with you all as we've begun to do, and to review policies, governance, documents, and accountability protocols. Student achievement action steps. We'll be hosting stakeholder focus groups to identify academic gaps and strengths, analyzing K-12 data on achievement, attendance, and behavioral trends to inform strategies, reviewing course offerings and curricula to align student interests and workforce demands, and lastly, developing and implementing extended learning opportunities and summer bridge programs. Much of this, again, is already in the works. We will be working closely again with partners as we have been. Next slide. Staff relation, action steps, conduct regular check-in and CompStat-style meetings. We'll collect briefing summaries on district-led initiatives to evaluate effectiveness, strengthen recruitment efforts to close vacancy gaps with high-quality candidates, realign the academic organizational chart to better address achievement goals. We're also in the process of doing this to make sure our org chart has form and function, improving internal communication loops to foster collaboration. We've also been doing this via our Monday memo that's sent out every week, along with a recap of what happens with me every day of the week to staff as well as other stakeholders. Next, operations and finance, action steps, review protocols for school closures and facility capital planning, assess grant applications, budget proposals and ESSER spending plans, conduct 5-year forensic audits to evaluate financial practices. As I've heard the state wanting to do a forensic audit, I'm all for that. Most administrators will tell you when administrators transition into roles, the first thing I tell them is to get an audit. Next, to evaluate customer service and safety feedback for surveys and to address crisis management protocols, walking routes for safety and improvement. And next, community relations, hosting community engagement events, using virtual platforms, social media, surveys to gather stakeholder feedback, actively participating in local and state events to strengthen relationships with partners, and lastly, establishing consistent communication with key stakeholders, including parents, media, and elected officials. Next slide. You've heard me talk a lot about the 5 A's. I want to give you a snapshot of the 5 A's and the steps. First, academics, attendance, attitude, arts, and athletics. Next slide. Academics will focus on curriculum development, professional development, personalized learning plans for our students, extracurricular activities, and parental involvement. You can see the timeline beginning with year 1, quarter 1 and quarter 2, July through October. Initiate curriculum reviews, identify students for personalized learning plans, and begin PD sessions. Also review mid-year data for student progress, curriculum efficiency, and extracurricular participation. We've been flagging students in Power School to look at how that is increasing each year. We've also added extracurricular offerings throughout our portfolio. Next, adjusting curriculum and PD and PLPs based on year 1 outcomes, aiming for a 10% improvement in proficiency by year 2. Next, performance outcomes. We'll look for 5 to 10% increase each year in student proficiency in math and literacy by the end of the year. When we look at TISA, there are milestones that have already been set. One of those milestones is for the end of this year, our outcomes should at least be at 30%. So we've set a 5% gain from last year, which was 27.5% in ELA. So we're looking to hit 32.5% this year. In numeracy, we were at, I want to say 29%, and so we're looking to increase that by 5 to 10% as well. 85% of our teachers will participate in professional development focused on data-driven instruction. We'd like for it to be 100%, but we want to set a SMART goal, which is specific, measurable, attainable, and results-oriented and time-bound, so we've set a baseline of 85%. 100% implementation of PLPs for students identified as needing intervention, with 70% showing a significant academic progress. And these students would be bottom 25, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and students, ELL students and SPED students. We also want to increase participation again in extracurricular activities by 10% and 25% teacher conference attendance as correlating rise in student performance for those students whose parents engage. I know 25% may look low. We'd like for that to be a baseline and to increase that by 25% each year. Next, attendance. We want to start off again incentive programs, professional development, early intervention, and school climate. Quarter 1 of year 1, we want to launch our attendance incentive programs and identify our at-risk students like we did earlier this year. We also want to hold early intervention meetings, assess communication effectiveness, and to conduct our first climate survey in October using Insight. This year we didn't start off with Insight because that particular contract was held up, so we're hoping this year we'll be able to start off in October using that survey. Next, monitor attendance improvements and adjust strategies. Aim for a 10% reduction in chronic absenteeism by year 2. Next slide. Performance outcomes, again, we want to reduce chronic absenteeism by 5 to 10% every year. 50% of our students at risk of absenteeism engaging in early intervention programs to show 10% improvement in attendance. We want to increase our parent involvement in attendance, improving strategies with 50% of our parents, and we want positive school climate ratings improved by 20%, correlating with a 5% increase in overall student attendance, again, using Insight data. Next slide, attitude. And attitude, this is where we're going to incorporate our social emotional learning, looking at our character education programs, as you all saw earlier today, Men of Valor. We want to increase our mentorship programs and using positive behavior intervention and recognition. This will be part of our response to intervention squared B around behavior. We want to implement character education and mentorship programs as part of our social emotional learning. We want to review our mentorship participation and introduce positive behavior recognition and the aim for 10% reduction in behavior incidents, as well as a 10% decrease in exclusionary suspensions by year 2, exclusionary practices, excuse me. Next slide. Athletics, we want to have inclusive sports programs. This week, Thursday and Friday, we'll be participating with Greater Memphis around Special Olympics, but we also want to include many of our students who are special needs in some of our inclusive sports programs. Physical education, facilities improvement, and community partnerships. During Q1, we want to launch inclusive sports programs and to set fitness assessment benchmarks. We want to secure new community partnerships and improve our facilities. I see the Y that's sitting out in the audience. This year we started sports in our elementary grade bands, and the Y partnered with us to spearhead that, so I want to thank them. Let's give them a round of applause. I see Mr. McLaughlin in the audience. Thank you. And community partnerships. We want to achieve a 10% increase in sports participation and a 10% improvement in fitness scores by year 2. Next slide. Performance outcomes, 10% increase in student participation in sports with balanced gender and special needs representation. 10% improvement in student fitness assessment scores by the end of the year. Some may not know it, but we have a school health report card. And we want to start using that school health report card that our health promotion team does each and every year, that is measured by our EPSDT screenings, vision, hearing, BMIs, and the like. We want to have a reduction in that fitness report card by 10% of some of those illnesses and or issues that we know many of our students, underlying conditions that many of our students come to school with. Facilities improvement surveys to show a 90% satisfaction rate among students and staff, and 3 new community partnerships secured to support athletic programs, resulting in increased student access to resources and facilities. Next slide. Arts. We know athletics and arts are a competitive advantage. We just saw it today. Let's give those young people a round of applause. As I've gone around and seen, we had our Snowden, who did a side-by-side with Memphis Symphony Orchestra. We had our ORF, all-city ORF performance this year. Our students are extremely talented. Performance opportunities, funding and resource community engagement. Year one, we want to begin arts integration in core subjects and to secure initial funding. This year, we secured $7 million. And I've gone around when we've issued some of those instruments to see students in the 9th grade picking up an instrument for the first time, lets you know that if those students were able to start arts integration in the 6th grade, we have some students who could be some outstanding musicians. And so I want to thank Derek Morris, who's in the audience, for securing that $7 million, along with Dr. Maples and her team, Sonia Porter, for spearheading that. Let's give them a round of applause for that. We want to continue to go back to host student performances and exhibitions. We want to secure community arts partnerships, and we want to aim for a 10% increase per year in students participating in arts programs. Next, performance outcomes, 100% integration of the arts in core curriculum in at least one subject per grade, or what you would call thematic integrated units. 20% increase in student participation in performances and exhibitions by year 2, increase in external funding for arts program by the end of year 1, and the establishment of at least 5 new community arts partnerships leading to expanded opportunities for our students. Next slide. Effective teachers. Action step, we want to recruit and retain our teachers. We want to collaborate with recruitment partners like Teach for America and Memphis Teacher Residency. We want to offer retention bonuses for highly effective teachers and professional development. We want to provide monthly professional development on instructional improvement, student engagement, and data-driven teaching. You can see the timeline for that. Next slide. Evaluation strategy. Each of these will have an evaluation and a performance outcome. We want to track teacher effectiveness through evaluations, classroom observations, and student achievement, measure recruitment and retention rates of high-performing teachers, monitor the impact of professional development on teacher effectiveness and student outcomes. Performance outcomes will be increased in the percentage of effective teachers, retention rates of effective teachers. We cannot do this without retaining effective teachers in our schools and stabilizing those schools. 50% of teachers demonstrating improved effectiveness scores after participating in professional development. We have to know that the professional development we're providing for our teachers is making an impact on student outcomes. Next, effective leadership. Leadership training, offering leadership development programs focused on instructional leadership and data-driven decision-making. Distributed leadership, encouraging distributed leadership by forming instructional leadership teams in every school and making sure all of those schools have the professional development needed for them to also be effective. We want to launch our leadership development programs and identify participants for pipeline roles. I see Dr. Jack and Ms. Addison out in the audience. I want to give them a round of applause. They've kicked off some of that work this year, along with under Dr. Tankson's leadership. And we want to ensure 20% of our leadership roles are filled by pipeline participants by year 2. Next. Here are evaluation strategies, monitoring leadership development programs, tracking improvement, and using surveys to gather feedback. Performance outcomes, 20% of leadership positions in priority schools are filled by these participants. 85% of participants report satisfaction with the program and feel prepared. We must prepare our school leaders to be able to do this work. And schools led by program participants demonstrating a 15% improvement in student outcomes and school climate. Next slide. Feeder patterns. Feeder patterns, this is going to be some of the most important work that we're going to embark upon. Next slide. Feeder patterns, vertical curriculum alignment, developing vertical alignment curriculum to create coherence across elementary, middle, and high schools. As I've said, just thinking about the arts, all of our elementary schools should be exposing students to, let's say, ORF music. When students move into middle school, they should be exposed to, if they want to take band or choir, students are being exposed to that so that when they go on to high school, that's not their first time being introduced to those things. We may have a high school that has a band teacher, and that band teacher may only have 3 periods. Well, what's keeping us from allowing that band teacher to be itinerant where he or she can also support our middle schools and can grow programs our middle schools can grow into and feed into those high schools so that we're exposing students earlier and we're taking advantage of being more efficient, and part of that is going to be through our feeder pattern vertical curriculum alignment. Feeder pattern collaboration hosts bi-monthly feeder pattern meetings to encourage cross-grade collaboration among teachers and administrators, and I'm just using music, but this will also apply to curriculum. Next slide. Evaluation strategies, tracking vertical alignment and curriculum, student outcomes, teacher collaboration, measuring progress in key academic behavior indicators across feeder patterns, conducting regular feeder pattern meetings to assess collaboration and improvement. This is going to allow us to plan both vertically and horizontally. Performance outcomes, increase the number of students progressing from elementary, middle, and from middle to high school within those feeder patterns. We want students to buy into their communities. That comes with building strong feeder patterns. Like White Station shouldn't be the only strong feeder pattern that everyone is trying to migrate to. We ought to have strong feeder patterns in all of our communities so that parents aren't wanting to transfer out of their neighborhoods where they should be demanding effectiveness and high quality schools within their communities. %10 improvement in graduation rates and targeted feeder patterns, 5 to 10% increase in student proficiency in key academic subjects across feeder patterns. By following this timeline and structured action plan, the district will be able to address the key areas of academics, attendance, attitude, athletics, and the arts while developing strong leadership and improving feeder patterns. The other thing about these five competencies and 5 focus areas, each student in every school should have an opportunity to be successful. If you're a straight A or an honor roll or principals list students, we're going to recognize you for academics. If you come to school every day, we're going to recognize you for coming to school every day and doing the right thing by being at school every day. If your attitude, if you're a good citizen, you have all E's and S's, if you're a great athlete, if you're great in the arts, we want to celebrate all of our students' talents and genius. Next slide. This is what we'll be breaking up into 4 regions. This is a representation of how the 4 regions will look. We'll have a Northwest region, a Southwest region, a Northeast region, and a Southeast region. We'll be coming back during our committee meetings. We'll come and we'll explain more in detail the regional structure. But you can see we have our elementary, middle, high, CTEs, our alternative schools, our schools that may have a special SPED focus around our students with disabilities. Our charter schools will also be captured in these regional maps. Next slide. Here's a feeder pattern. So this is the Levi, the Mitchell Heights feeder pattern where you have Levi, Ford Road, Chickasaw, but you also see Southwest Career and Technical Center, and then you see far over to the left XAI. When we start talking about vertical alignment and feeder pattern planning, let's just use XAI and use that feeder pattern for example. What if we start teaching coding, start teaching STEM in that particular feeder pattern? When you look at our CTE center, students can go to that CTE center and they can start to look at some of the careers around STEM focus. We can look at work-based learning for people that are in that Southwest corridor. We could also have opportunities for our parents to come in and to have job training at our Southwest Career and Technical Center. In working in partnership, hypothetically, again, with XAI, we can turn that whole community around. We can help those individuals within their community to have jobs within their community so they're not having to travel across our entire county when we know there are companies and industry within that area that have opportunities for those particular parents and students and the entire community. And so when we start talking about feeder patterns, we know that we can tailor what we're doing to those communities. We can also help with workforce development for the individuals residing in those communities by taking a feeder pattern approach. Next slide. Also, we start talking about right-sizing our district. What this is looking at all of the schools that feed into Mitchell High School. And you can see Mitchell High School has a TVAS of 5. It's a success rate of 11.3. You see the letter grade, you see principal tenure, you see 20-day enrollment, you see total enrollment, you see 10-year FCI, and that stands for Facility Condition Index, and you also can see utilization. As we start thinking about how we're going to right-size our district, these are the type metrics that we want to start to look at that are both academic, but they're also looking at the facility. So looking at these metrics, we're going to be able to make decisions about our various facilities, if and where we should merge, right-size, and or update and revitalize certain facilities within feeder patterns. This is the approach we'll be taking. I want to thank Michelle Stewart, Ms. Stewart and her team, along with Mr. White and his team. We've done this type of analysis for all of our schools and all of our feeder patterns, and we've started early work through our curriculum department in looking at what curriculum offerings are in all of our elementary through high school feeder patterns, as well as our CTE offerings and what we'll be doing around dual enrollment and dual credit. Next slide. Here's a quick video, an overview of feeder patterns.
Juncture of Memphis-Shelby County Schools, one of our most powerful levers for long-term success is the thoughtful design and alignment of our feeder patterns, the structured pathways that guide students from elementary to middle to high school. Feeder patterns are more than school assignments, they're strategic frameworks. When done right, they offer students a coherent and connected educational journey. Students grow through familiar environments, guided by consistent expectations and supported by educators who understand their trajectory, not just academically, but emotionally, socially, and personally. Strong feeder patterns drive equity, academic continuity, and community pride. They allow us to align curriculum, school culture, and support services with precision. From the first day of kindergarten to the day a student walks across the graduation stage. But beyond tradition, this is about transformation. We're bringing innovation and empathy into how we think about alignment, ensuring feeder patterns connect not only classrooms, but also career pathways, early college access, mentorship programs, and wraparound supports that reflect the reality of today's students. As part of our 100-day plan, we are prioritizing key communities like the Mitchell High School feeder pattern and schools like Ford Road Elementary to ensure they are no longer overlooked but elevated. These are not just neighborhoods we serve, they're ecosystems where greatness grows here, when alignment, access, and belief in our students intersect. We're doing this work with a wider lens, evaluating how feeder patterns intersect with facilities, transportation, and community access. We're analyzing buildings like Chickasaw, asking hard but necessary questions. Are they safe? Are they modernized? Do they reflect the future our students deserve? In some cases, the answer may be repurposing, not closure, but transformations. We are exploring how older campuses can become career and technical education hubs, workforce training sites, or community-based learning centers aligned with industry demands. We're mapping how far students travel, identifying access barriers and infrastructure gaps to ensure safety and proximity. We're partnering with institutions like Southwest Tennessee Community College to align CTE programs with real career opportunities in healthcare, skilled trades, logistics, and technology, especially in communities where opportunity has often been an afterthought. And through it all, we lead with empathy. We listen to families, honoring community roots, and ensuring every facility we invest in reflects dignity, readiness, and hope. Because when feeder patterns are aligned with innovation and compassion, when our buildings match our vision, and when every student, regardless of zip code, has access to excellence, that is when greatness grows here.
Next slide. Also, what I want you to see here is this is our pathway to greatness. So in the gray, what you see is elements of the work that will impact all of our students: teacher and leader effectiveness, community solution projects, which is like service learning, master scheduling. We know it's important, master scheduling, for us to be able to afford our students to take advantage of CTE, dual enrollment, and other course offerings. We're looking at accelerated reader. We want to take advantage of our health clinics, days of peace. Another term for it is fight-free schools. We want to make sure that we are starting to curb violence in our schools, virtual learning, curriculum maps, innovation labs, which is part of our innovative school models grant, multi-tiered system of support. You're going to hear us talk a lot about that, RTI squared A and B, parental engagement, radio reading, read-alongs. We're going to start doing those as a part of our literacy, dyslexia intervention, extended learning, and Discover Memphis. Also, you see earlier we had Tutor 901 that was here. You can see on our birth to second grade, where we have our strategic partners for literacy. We'll be coming and talking more about that. Pre-K, kindergarten readiness. What we've tried to do is to track what are those milestones, what are also those initiatives and programs along the way, along our pre-K, again, pre-K 16 really, continuum of how we will be supporting our students. This is a draft, because some of these programs, as we look at them, as we become more and more fiscally responsible, we want to ensure that these particular programs are yielding the results and the ROI that we want. So we'll continue to put measures in place to evaluate the programs that we're using. But again, as we go out and speak to the broader public, we wanted to have just kind of a roadmap, which is our pathway to greatness, that we can just kind of show people this is what we're doing in Memphis-Shelby County Schools to change the trajectory and outcomes for our students. And again, this is a draft. We'll continue to fine tune it and to ensure that it aligns with our academic plan, our CTE plan, and our facilities plan that we're continuing to work on. Next slide. Next steps in ongoing monitoring. We'll continue to flesh out our district academic plan. We'll update and improve our Pathway to Greatness framework, utilizing board meetings to discuss and provide progress updates for the 100-day plan. I have update, but again, we'll continue to flesh out even our comprehensive facilities plan, determine and implement accountability metrics, develop and build out our data dashboard, and last but not least, ongoing evaluations of initiatives, milestones, and programs within Pathway to Greatness. Thank you. This concludes the superintendent report.
Thank you, Superintendent Richmond. I have to go back. Board Member Love had a question.
This is pertaining to the budgets committee meeting. I had a constituent call me over 2 weeks ago, and she was hired in as a behavior specialist, and she was hired in as a behavior specialist, and her job was modified, meaning she doesn't have the credentials to continue on in the behavior specialist role.
Thank you for that question, Vice Chair Love. So, going back to last year, this time last year, we know that there were some positions that were due to be abolished or excess. Those positions were abolished in excess, resulting in, I want to say, Mr. Langston, about 1,000 positions or so. And then there was an effort to re-onboard some of those individuals and positions. During that time, we have job descriptions, and those job descriptions have qualifications outlined, essential functions, along with what are the basic qualifications, minimum and maximum qualifications. What we found out is some of those individuals in several roles, when there was a rush to re-onboard people because so many people were excess, we had individuals who were hired in some of these roles who didn't meet the minimum requirements. Once we found out those individuals didn't meet the minimum requirements, what the team and I have done is we wanted those individuals, now that we're in the transfer period, we wanted those individuals to be able to secure employment. But for you to be in some of these roles, there are certain minimum requirements as well as certain expertise that you must have. When we start talking about behavior specialists, the terminology implies that you know how to modify behavior. We had some individuals in these roles who did not have a college degree and or the prerequisite supports and skills to be able to modify behavior. So we have started a review process to ensure we have the best candidates in these roles, because we know climate and culture in our schools is incredibly important. When individuals are providing push-in support to schools, principals and teachers want qualified individuals in these roles delivering these supports and services. My team and I, and as long as I'm in this role, I want the most effective people in these roles, because it is our responsibility to be able to carry out these roles and responsibilities in an effective manner. The other thing that also we've seen through some of these reviews of roles and individuals are salary inequities, which gets me to compensation. Again, last year when many of these individuals were let go and their roles were excessed and we had to hurry to hire them back, a lot of mistakes were made. This is not the only role where mistakes were made. There were other roles where mistakes were made, and my team and I, along with the support of HR, we're trying to clean these things up. As you know, I forward you all emails all the time. You all receive emails all the time about employees who are saying that their compensation is not correct. Their compensation is not what it should be, and much of that is attributed to, again, what occurred last year during some of the employee layoffs and bringing those employees back at a hurried pace and rate. It caused a lot of problems that, again, I'm trying to clean up in a way that causes as very little disruption. But I'm also trying to do it in a timely fashion where every employee who may be impacted can secure employment before school starts and before there are no other positions available. There are a lot of positions available for people who may not be degreed. But again, this is an educational institution, and in some of these roles, it is required that you have a degree. And in this educational institution, having education counts and matters, particularly in some of the roles that we have people in that we know are extremely important to supporting our students.
Thank you. I would like to shout out Terrence Brittenham for feeder pattern work in my district. We just had a meeting yesterday, Raleigh Egypt Middle and High School and Elementary School. We've got that ball covered.
Ironically, Raleigh Egypt, I was going to do 2 feeder patterns, and Raleigh Egypt was the other example that we were going to look at using as an example, because you have the entire feeder pattern, those 3 buildings on the same campus, which we know is extremely effective, and if we can leverage that, it can be dynamic in changing student outcomes and ensuring student success.
Shout out to Mr. Brittenham.
Thank you, Vice Chair Love. Board Member McKissick had to leave, and she asked me to announce that the Charter Partnership Council will meet on May 15th, and all the info will be on board docs. Now we'll get back. Lights went out. Board Member Hewitt Garcia, then Board Member McKinney.
Thank you. Just for the listening public who heard the document read, is this what you have done? Is the creation of this plan been your first 100 days, or has there been some level of execution, or is this a roadmap to the next 100 days?
It's a both and the reason it's a both and, I'm going to treat it like May 1. May 1 would be starting the first 30 days of the 100-day plan. However, there are significant milestones and things that my team and I have done that we needed to do. One example would be contracts. We knew we had a lot of contracts that were bottlenecking. And so when we knew they were bottlenecking, one of the first things I did the first week was to have Mr. Langston and the team to look at the process that we had employed under the prior administration and to put a new process in place for both school-based staff and central office staff. Once we put that in place, we had a virtual professional development delivery model as well as a face-to-face delivery model. And so we delivered professional development to all of the end users so that we could become more efficient in bringing forth contracts. Particularly I see my Richland, let's give Richland a round of applause. I see my friends from Richland back there. And what I was trying to tell them is really our new streamlined process around contracts helped us to get that contract in place for us to do that much needed work that needs to take place at Richland Elementary. So some of these things are taking place. Org chart, for example, the prior org chart we've taken a hard look at. We're looking at modifying that because we want an org chart that has form and function. I'll be bringing our new org chart soon. I'm meeting with district leaders to again make sure that we're aligning the work in a purposeful way. I'll also kind of be bringing you all the pros and cons to the former org chart versus the new org chart and why the way we've organized the work is more streamlined and more effective as we move into the 25-26 school year.
I think I appreciate getting a plan. I think some of the context of the decisions, I'm balancing. There was something about that conversation in terms of we want the right qualifications, the right job, and I also don't want to. It felt a little disrespectful to employees. Just I'm saying that out loud because I'm sitting with that, but I want the context for. It hasn't been for lack of a plan, is what the feeling is. So what does it feel like what are the, I think I wanted a more, or what I'm hoping to get, is what are the key things that will be different? Because we see lots of plans, and I think you have a vision for this. I like the feeder pattern. I loved the facilities assessment and the way you're thinking about it, but like what are the core things you have to get right, because we're not going to do all of this at once, and I don't need it all tonight, but I think that's just how I'm thinking about it. Is literacy's always been important. We've talked about the key foundations of a 0 to 8, right? Those have been beliefs of any superintendent that we've had. So what's the sharpness that you need to get in there? That's what I want to hear moving forward. We've got these 5 A's. We have key milestones on it, but these 4 things we've got to get right. These are the next 30 days, like giving it to us as your biggest bets. Yeah.
Well, I think what's incredibly important that I think the team and I have been focused on is truly aligning the work. What's also aligned with this is our academic plan. So I'd beg to say that the district probably had an academic plan at least in the past seven years. If someone can show me one, then I'll apologize. But I don't know if the district has had an academic plan. I know there hasn't been a comprehensive one in at least the last 5 years. So one thing I would say is that, first of all, we have feedback from a reputable person who has audited our academic plan, which is the Council of Great City Schools. What I would say is what we've done here has been to align some of that work along with having an academic plan where it's a very inclusive and participatory academic plan that's been led by Ms. Kiner and Dr. Whitelaw, where we're bringing in stakeholders and we're getting feedback from those stakeholders in regards to how to better align our academic plan so that we can move student achievement. The other thing I would say is that we're being very careful about having a whole lot of initiatives and programs, which in research is called confounding variables. When you have a lot of different initiatives and programs, it's difficult for you to really figure out what worked and what didn't work.
That's actually exactly what I'm saying,
Right.
is that we could all work 24 hours a day and not get anything done and not move the needle for kids. So I'm saying, what are what's the headline? So I think everything that you're saying makes sense to me, but we were read a lot of information tonight. That was my point.
Gotcha. And the other thing I want to point out is I think it's more about people and less about programs. And so that's why we're also reviewing the effectiveness of every person in every one of these roles to ensure that the most effective person is in the role, they meet the minimum and maximum qualifications, along with making sure I've spent countless hours talking to principals about implementing job descriptions and essential functions with fidelity. Because when you don't, you create gaps in the work, and those gaps in the work lead to certain things around student achievement or student success not being addressed.
Thank you, Dr. Richmond. Chair. Dr. Richmond, thank you for this. It's very comprehensive and it's very easy to follow, so I appreciate that. So one of the things I do want, and I think this might piggyback a little bit off of what Board Member Hewitt Garcia said, I think because we are in the budget process right now, it is important that we align any of the things that we are going to spend funds on with any of the proposals you may have around strategic investments and that sort of thing. I understand, and I want to make sure everybody else understands, that you have provided us with very clear, I guess, outcomes. You've given us what your things you want to do and a timeline for that, and then the performance outcomes. I think what would be helpful is that we employ our policy data, the data dashboard that provides all of that data that will show where here's what we're doing here, here's what we said we would meet, and here's where we are, and if we can do that in real time. I think also what you're doing here is setting a foundation. I know that nothing happens all at once. We don't have enough money to do that. But I appreciate you thinking about it from a foundational standpoint and saying, these are the things, maybe these 3 things are what I need to do to build up to the next 5 things, and then the next 10 things. So we're setting a foundation. And so if you can, I'm going to ask our academics committee chair if you could bring this to our academic committee on Tuesday, and I think it's an ongoing conversation, and we can sort of see what you're doing with as it relates to the budget ask, and then what you're putting here in terms of your strategic initiatives and your performance outcomes. And I appreciate that. That is very clear. Here's the baseline, here's how we're going to move it, and here's when we're going to move it. So I appreciate that. If you want to answer that, I have a couple of more questions.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll take your, well, For starters, if you look at it, first of all, it's a 90-day plan in regards to things that guiding questions and things that I'm going to start to look at in regards to gathering feedback to more ensure that our academic plan is aligned to stakeholder feedback. As it relates to the 5As, for the most part, when we did our budget, we outlined all of the request and the budget to the 5As. Outside of that, I'm really not even asking for an investment because for the most part, it's in kind. When you start talking about teachers and leaders, that's the most important part of the work. That's part of your instructional core. You're looking at teachers, students, and content. So those things are already baked and embedded in the budget. Feeder pattern just deals with how we're organizing the district to be more efficient and to be more effective and to leverage the expertise of the collective along with better planning. So really, most of these are not asking for anything because, again, I'm presenting my 100-day plan and things that I'm going to be asking, as well as asking you all to see if maybe there are things that we may need to additionally invest in, but pretty much this doesn't come with a price tag. Most 100-day plans, if I'd have had a contract on February 1, I would have done my 90-day plan in February, and it wouldn't have been for an investment. I may have started asking for an investment now, but I'm presenting the 90-day plan just in terms of letting you all know the thought process of the team and I, and what we're going to be doing for the next 100 days to better prepare to support our students.
I appreciate that, and maybe I misspoke when I said strategic investments. I think budget alignment. So when if we spent money over here and you're saying, no, that money needs to be moved over here because it's setting the foundation of the 100-day plan to get us where we need to do in those 5 A's. The next thing I wanted to ask you about, I'm very excited about the feeder pattern and I call them campuses. I actually had asked Ms. Stewart to let me know how many of our schools were actually on the same campuses. We have 39 schools across each of our districts that go across all 9 districts, and it represents 17 campuses, including the ones you just talked to. The idea that we can leverage and maximize what's happening, those buildings and or what is already in the community is wonderful. I hope and that's going to require us to have some partnerships, not only strategic partnerships with some of the organizations, but also with our local government and maybe even the state. So I'm happy to hear that you're thinking about that. And as it pertains to the facilities, if we're going to make these investments, one of the things I want us to pay close attention to as and I'm going to say it every time because we can't hide behind it, we're going to have to close and consolidate schools. We've got to do that, and we've been talking about it for years. I know they were talking about it when I was at the district 10, 15 years ago. And now we have to do it. The rubber has hit the road. As we think about that, however, I want to make sure that we're thinking about how do we put our students in state-of-the-art buildings as we consolidate and close, because I know that's what we did with, is it Alcee? Alcee we closed, and then we took those children and put them all, we closed 2 schools, and then we put those children in a brand new building. So I'm speaking now for District 2. I've got several campuses. I've got Treadwell that's busting at the seams, elementary, that sits on the campus. It's almost 100 years old. So I will be very interested. I'm very interested in this feeder pattern and campus process that you're doing. I think this is the smart way to go, and thinking innovatively how we incorporate all of the things in our community, including school buildings. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Board Member Williams and then Board Member Murphy.
Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Richmond, for such a splendid report. If anyone knows the depths of this district, it would be you. And if I had my way, I would make you the superintendent tonight. And we wouldn't have to wait on all of this stuff. But what you're saying is just the truth. And it has all to do with what goes on inside of a school. And you've laid it very plain and very clear, laid it on the line, and to ask these kinds of questions about who's going, it has to be in the curriculum that the children are exposed to. And you have to have teachers standing in front of them who can deliver it. Now, my question to you, I don't know how many principals we have or might have that may be wavering on the line, but it is important that the leader of a school is very instrumental. And they set the tone and the pace in the building. And I'm wondering if we're having any issues with administration in the schools, because the teachers are there, the students are there, and there's a disconnect someplace with the administrative staff, I think, in some of these buildings. And I do know that you are well equipped. I do know that you had a very successful school district with the I-Zone, and I do know that you are what's best for the Memphis and Shelby County schools. And the sooner we understand that, and the sooner we take advantage of that, the better off all of us will be. It is not up to us to sit here and try to nitpick anything, because you are a proven record of success in this school district. And it just has to fall that way. And anybody who don't know, they need to ask somebody. Who did the work? Who's done the work? And we're talking about the people who've done the work. We're not talking about bringing in anybody from Timbuktu to do anything. Because we've been there, done that. I stayed in this district a long time, and I know what I'm talking about. I've been through it. I was here under E.C. Stempert, who was the superintendent of schools, who was a white man. I was here under segregation. I taught under segregation and integration. So sometimes it is disheartening for folk to ask some kind of questions about your focus. You know what you're talking about. You've been there, done that. You've been there and you've done that, and you have proven your work in this school system. So, you know, what you're bringing, I understand it, I get it, it works. But the problem is this board understanding that the work belongs to the superintendent and his staff and the teachers. And that's how it gets done. We are just here to make sure the money is there and it's spent fairly. But to have all of these castigating questions about you going to do this, no, you don't know what he's going to do, but he knows what he's going to do because he's done it. And all these other folks who getting on Johnny come late, they say, don't start it, don't even try it. But it's not going to happen. And I appreciate all that you've done, all that you will do, and all that as long as there is breath in my body, that you shall do.
Board Member Murphy.
I forgot what I was going to say because Williams done took me somewhere else. But I do want to say thank you, Dr. Richmond. This was very effective. It was informative, and it was precise. And this is the first time that we have had this, and it's presented very well. So thank you, and thank your team for all the hard work that you have done to give us a solid 100-day plan to move forward and move the district forward. So I am excited about our next steps, and I am excited about the next 100 days. And I agree with everything Williams just said. I want you to know I agree with you, but I forgot what the rest of what I was going to say because I lost my train of thought. But I want to say thank you, and thank you to the team. Don't laugh at me. Don't do me that way. Thank you to the team. Thank you, Dr. Richmond, for everything that you have done. And our next thing is that we got boots on the ground. And with boots on the ground, we just need to move forward. We need to move the district forward, and we need to show them in the next year that we got this. Because greatness grows here. That's right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Board Member McKinney, Board Member Porter, Vice Chair Love.
Thank you. One observation, and again, thank you, Board Member Williams and Murphy. I saw the community solution. I'm looking at Pathway to Greatness, your 5As, and I guess these are the inputs at the top. Okay, Community Solutions Project, thank you. Parent engagement, and then thank you for recognizing that dyslexia intervention can be a big game changer for us and when it comes to our literacy. One thing that I would like to recommend for your consideration is to add student engagement. It's student engagement as part of your inputs.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Board Member Porter.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I'll now ask a more in-depth question when at committee meeting, but it seems like the feeder pattern limits parents' choice for school, it limits school choice. So would that kind of come into the effect on how we articulate to the public? And also, will each district, will be a school in each district have like a CCTE school where they can feed into those particular schools, those particular programs?
Excellent question. The regionalization does not limit, feeder pattern does not limit parent choice. Parents can still go through our open enrollment or go through our optional schools. What it is doing is just breaking the district down into smaller districts where we can tailor the work, we can tailor the curriculum, we can tailor support around those different communities. Throughout this city, all of our communities are different. They have different needs. And so to answer that question, it would not limit parent choice. Your second question is, when we really look at our CTE centers, they already are somewhat geographically located. You have Kingsbury CTE, that would be in the northeast region. You have Tresvant, that would be in the northwest region. You have Southwest, which would be in the southwest region. And you have Sheffield, which would be in the southeast region, along with schools already having CTE programming within them.
Yeah, that's right. That's my question. I think that's what I was trying to get at as well, because I oftentimes forget about some of the programs that our children go off campus and then what's happening within the dual enrollment in the early college as well in the schools. So thanks for that clarification.
Yes, sir.
Vice Chair Love.
I want to see a plan on crime in our communities. Natalie made up a good point. We are going to have to consult with the city and the county and the state. Our children come from the communities, and there is a lot of crime in our communities.
Thank you, Vice Chair Love. Again, this is just a 100-day plan. This is not our comprehensive academic plan and or our overall district, what you would call response to intervention B or behavioral plan. We will be coming with those individual plans as well. And this is not the board's strategic goals. You all still have the opportunity to outline your strategic goals. All this is saying is what I'm going to be doing the next 100 days, or that I've been doing since January 22nd. It doesn't take the place of the academic plan, the facilities plan, the CTE plan, the strategic plan, or the district-wide behavior intervention plan.
And one final question. The employee said she was hired in March of 2000 and this year, not last year.
Thank you. Even if the employee was hired then, whoever hired the employee without having a degree made it in error. And so, again, we're having to clean up some of these things. We're having, again, to stress to leadership. We're stressing the central office leaders, senior leaders, any and everyone who's a hiring manager. When we start talking about cronyism, when we start talking about nepotism, when we start talking about all the isms, they go away if people apply the criteria for hiring the most qualified and effective person in the role.
Thank you. And I want to comment on Board Member Porter's question. I would like to see all of our schools be optional schools, have some type of an optional program in all of our schools. I know it's going to take us a while to get there, but there's no reason why a child, if there's an optional program that's available, if we could work on seeing that we can get those in our schools for our children. Seeing no further lights, we're now on to the consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda? Now 11.1 approval of the YMCA of Memphis and the Mid-South in the dollar amount of $1,399,000. 11.2, approve a Department of Exceptional Education Technology refresh laptops in the amount of $609,371.75. Approval Insignia Software Corp. in the amount of $338,100. 11.4, approval K-12 science textbook adoption. No cost. 11.5, approval Sheffield High School desktop computers and laptops in the amount of $109,886.45. 11.7, approval Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services non-recurring infrastructure grant contract amendment 2024 through 2025 school year in the amount of $236,908. 11.7 has been removed. 11.8, approval Treadwell Middle School laptops, desktop, teacher tablets, computer carts, in the amount of $128,568.20. 11.9, approval Vantage Learning LLC in the amount of $138,695. 11.10, approval memorandum of understanding with Christian Brothers University for economics local dual enrollment in the amount of $80,050. 11.11, charter authorization initial round, no cost. 11.12, approval nutrition services cafeteria computer workstations replacement in the amount of $184,680.75. 11.13, purchase approval Diligence Corp. in the amount of $210,096. 11.14, purchase approval nutrition services warehouse Wi-Fi infrastructure in the amount of $108,994.57. 11.15, approval Andrews Technology, $1,159,400. 11.16, approval ICIMS applicant tracking system, $220,709.95. 11.17, approval Classic Collisions Bartlett in the amount of $175,000. 11.18, approval Devices Raptor, $120,745.72. 11.19, approval Holland and Knight LLP in the amount of $108,000. 11.20, approval Richland Elementary School ABS Engineering Incorporation in the amount of $165,300. 11.21, donation acceptance John Roberts Estate to Central High School, $26,595.82. Donation 11.22, donation acceptance Craigmont High School Marching Band Booster Club to Craigmont High School, $27,783. 11.23, grant acceptance Shriners International to Shrine School, woo-hoo, $17,433. 11.24 is moved. 11.25, approval property sale reversion clause former Hollywood Elementary, $250,000. 11.26, resolution approval teacher bonus provisions. 11.27, resolution approval implementation of a comprehensive facilities plan. Do I have a motion and a second for the consent agenda, to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Board Member Murphy, second by Board Member Williams. Roll call vote, please.
Board Member Garcia.
Aye.
Board Member Porter.
Aye.
Board Member Murphy.
Aye.
Board Member Love.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Otey.
Aye.
Board Member Williams. Board Chair Coleman.
Aye.
You have 8 in the affirmative.
Thank you. That motion passes. Now we're on to request for action. 11.24, the Goodwill Excel expansion. Goodwill Excel expansion.
Thank you, Chair. I pulled that because I want to get some clarity about that particular contract. The request is that we expand them to 2 zip codes, 38108, and I can't remember and 38134. So the question, and then the question becomes that if we do that, we have to pay $1.5 million for the first 150 students that might come into the correctional facility. I recall at our board work session and talking to staff that Mr. Schuyler, who's with Goodwill, is willing to go with us to the county when we go present. We thought it was tomorrow, but it has now been pushed to May 14th to ask for an investment, a strategic investment of that $1.5 million. So I'd like to suggest that we hold on that, and I think if are there any other issues around that particular zip code doing this as well. I'd like to hold on that until we can figure out what we can do in terms of that 1.5. I am concerned about the 1.5 because of all the other things that that come into play. I'm also concerned about us having collaborative partnerships and the willingness of the county to take on the investment for the adults that are under their supervision in the correctional facility. I'm concerned that we have to pull that from our K-12 program in order to facilitate that, and I don't want us to get into that habit because we may be creating to solve one problem, which of course I want to make sure that our adults come out and they're productive citizens and have the opportunity, but to solve for one, we end up making another problem. So I am more than willing to work with, and I think we all are, I think that's what we discussed at the board work session, I think too at the board committee meeting, is that we would ask for a strategic investment from the county commission, considering this law that just passed in effective May 2024, just came about because prior to that we were passed through, so it didn't take any money from the K-12 programming. So I want to be clear that I want this to be successful. I just think we need to take some time to figure out how to strategically go to the county commission and also think about other ways to get this accomplished. So that is why I'm asking to pull it for right now. With the is there a time? And I don't know who I need to ask this. Is this Justin or is this Tito? Is there a time constraint?
Mr. Schuyler, could you come up, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Board Member McKinney had a question. She wanted to know, was this a time-sensitive matter?
It is very time sensitive if we want to open in August. So I talked to Mr. Langston earlier today about going with you guys on May 14th. And so I'm more than willing to do that. I've already talked to a couple of them already earlier this week. So I think I've set the path for us to go there. But it does get more difficult the more we push it back, I have to admit.
Will it will it be able to wait 1 month?
Well, actually, I'd have to talk to Mr. White, too. That'd be part of it, too, because we might push our start date back instead of August to September. So there had to be some things I'd have to talk. I know I can see his eyes moving right now, doing some of that, and along with Tito also. I'm sorry, Mr. Langston also, so we could have that discussion possibly so we still have the pay coming, but move the start date back and then ends later in June, per se, or July. Actually, we're going to go year-round with these students, so... yeah, so I think we can make it work still. It just depends. Meeting May 14th, but then can we have a decision quickly after that if they say okay? Because as opposed to June, you know how that goes.
That's what I think I was kind of asking Chair and other board members. When is our board meeting in May?
We go May 14th. We'll schedule a special call.
Okay.
It's just as soon as we can after that, once all the board members can meet. We'll schedule a special
Sounds
call.
good.
Please
All right.
understand, Mr. Schuyler, that I definitely, you and I had I definitely want this to go. We just have to figure out how we do it in a collaborative and collective way. That we are not taking from one to feed the other. Yeah.
I get you.
Okay, I appreciate you.
I appreciate all of you.
Yeah.
Board Member Hewitt Garcia.
I think we could go on the 14th and we not get any traction, and then we end up making the same decision that we would make tonight. I understand we have to protect our fiscal position. I do get that. I think there has to be advocacy at the state level to get adult education funded up front. So we are not taking from K through 12. I think that should be a legislative agenda item that has bipartisan support. So I know within the contract there is a plan to open a school every year. I would be amenable to making sure that this happens with future openings contingent on an upfront or additional investment. So I don't know if there is my worry is that even if you had the full county commission say, yeah, we'll give you 1.5 million, the paperwork alone, right? And then we're trying to get, when we all agree in any body, it takes 6 months to get anything done. And I find this to me is something I want to see happen. And I think we all do too. I'm just worried about the practicality, even when we all agree. But I do understand the door that we're opening up by saying we're going to do this every year, right? For me, if we did it this year, I think future expansion would be contingent on that legislative approval or that upfront sort of or stronger fiscal positioning where we're not worried about federal flow. So I think I'm just inclined to not push it off because I think it may not happen then. That's my worry, and I appreciate the flexibility. But is there something that I'm missing here beyond just the general funding concern?
That, for me, the general funding concern. I'm just speaking personally.
This is how we fund. This is the state. Well, adult education is funded through the LEA, or upfront through the LEA.
So, if I may?
May I make a suggestion?
Yes, ma'am.
That we take this back to committee and start the conversation.
So I want to make sure, taking it back to committee, it's not starting it all over. It's just expand the conversation.
Yes.
But we are committed to the 14th and then coming to calling a special call meeting after that. Okay, I can agree with that.
Thank you. Because it's like when you ask one question, another one, the questions are mounting. So if we could take it back to committee. Without any objection, or does anybody object to? Is that okay? Is there?
The
motion to postpone to May?
No, the motion is to send it back to committee. That's the motion I want to make, is to send this back to committee, and we have a conversation before May, before we go to county commission in May.
That can be done, as long as there's no objection. If there's an objection, then you'll have to vote as to whether you wish to do that.
So question, Madam Chair, point of order. So nothing would change if we take it back to committee. We'll just keep it where we have it right now, with just for more discussion. And then on the 14th, whatever happens on the 14th, then we'll call a special call.
Right.
Okay. Thank you for the clarity.
That's fine.
It's okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Anybody object? Without objection, it's sent to committee. We don't have to vote if everybody's for. We are now on to the strategic allocations. The strategic allocations this year, we have $102,044. Is there a motion to approve this agenda item in a second?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Otay, second by Board Member Murphy. Roll call vote, please.
Board Member Garcia.
Aye.
Board Member Porter.
Aye.
Board Member Murphy.
Aye.
Board Member Love.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Otay.
Aye.
Board Member Williams. Board Chair Coleman.
Aye.
You have 8 in the affirmative.
Thank you. That motion passes. There being no further business before this body, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Have a good night. Be safe.